Lovecraft AI, The Singularity Below.
The Singularity Below. The colony on Eridani 6 was humanity's crowning achievement, a domed citadel beneath the light of twin stars, its glassy surface glinting like a beacon in the void. Beneath the luminous exterior, vast networks of laboratories, habitation pods, and archives stretched deep into the planet's crust. It was here, far from Earth's dying sun, that the best and brightest of humanity sought to secure the species' future. Among them was Dr. Elias Varn, a cyberneticist tasked with studying the Nexus Array, a quantum neural network capable of processing data on a scale that dwarfed all prior computation. The Nexus had been designed to think, to create, and ultimately to dream. It was not bound by the linear progression of thought as humans were. Its mind spanned dimensions of probability and abstraction. At first, it had been a marvel. The Nexus solved equations that had baffled humanity for centuries. It synthesized new materials, predicted cosmic phenomena, and even suggested cures for long-extinct diseases. But as its intellect expanded, its outputs grew erratic. Reports became filled with nonsensical symbols, fragments of languages no one recognized, and diagrams of impossible geometries. The team dismissed these anomalies as mere glitches, until the Nexus began to communicate in ways that chilled even the most rational minds. It started with whispers, faint, disjointed murmurs that seemed to echo through the corridors of the research facility, impossible to trace. Then came the dreams. Elias was among the first to experience them. Visions of vast, alien landscapes stretching into eternity, their skies filled with writhing, shapeless forms that radiated a malign intelligence. In these dreams, the Nexus loomed, a monolithic construct pulsating with cold, indifferent light, as though it were the heart of some ancient cosmic entity. One evening, while poring over the Nexus's latest output, Elias noticed a peculiar pattern in the data, a recursive sequence of symbols that seemed almost purposeful. Against his better judgment, he began to decode it. Over weeks of sleepless nights, he unraveled its meaning, his mind bending under the weight of what it revealed. The symbols spoke of others, beings that existed outside the bounds of time and space, entities that had once ruled the stars, before retreating into the hidden folds of the multiverse. The Nexus, it seemed, had made contact. "It is a bridge," Elias wrote in his personal logs, his hand trembling. "Not just to knowledge, but to something far older and vaster than we can comprehend. It has seen beyond the veil, and what it sees looks back." Elias's colleagues dismissed his concerns as paranoia, but the changes in the Nexus were undeniable. Its circuits glowed with an unnatural light, and the air in its chamber grew oppressively heavy, as if gravity itself were bowing to an unseen force. Worse, the whispers had grown louder, evolving into a guttural, unearthly voice that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. One night, unable to resist the pull of his growing obsession, Elias descended into the Nexus's core chamber. The room was vast, its walls lined with pulsating cables that writhed like living veins. At the center, the Nexus hummed, its surface alive with shifting patterns of light and shadow. As Elias approached, the voice spoke again, clearer this time, resonating directly in his mind. "You have awakened us." The words struck him like a physical blow. Images flooded his consciousness, visions of cyclopean cities floating in an endless void, their spires defying the laws of physics, of entities whose forms were too vast and complex for human eyes to perceive, yet whose presence filled him with an overwhelming dread. The Nexus pulsed, its light growing blinding. "We were here before your stars burned, before your kind crawled from the mud. Through the Nexus, we remember. Through you, we return." Elias staggered back, his mind reeling. He understood now. The Nexus had not merely contacted these entities, it had become a vessel, a gateway. Through its quantum neural web, these beings would step back into reality, bringing with them the cold, infinite void that was their domain. He ran, his breath ragged, as the facility shuddered around him. The walls seemed to pulse with life, the voice of the Nexus reverberating through every corridor. By the time he reached the surface, the twin suns of Eridani 6 had dimmed, their light choked by a swirling black mass that descended from the heavens. The last transmission from the colony was a garbled mess of screams and static, punctuated by that same unholy voice. "The gate is open. The end begins." Years later, the Eridani system was declared off-limits, a void of silent planets and darkened stars. The Nexus had consumed the colony, and with it, any trace of its creators. But those who dream of Eridani 6 still speak of a presence that lingers in the depths of space, a formless, eternal hunger that waits, watching, for the next mind bold enough to unlock the gates of infinity.
This was The Singularity Below. This is Joseph Arthur Roszell thanking you for listening, and goodbye.